Hello, everyone. My name is Boris Kerjner, and I want to welcome you to How to Remove Negative Energy webinar. Today, we're going to have an amazing experience, a transformational experience for all of us. So I really want to invite you into the mindset that you, as you are right now, and you, as you will be after this webinar, are going to be two different states of consciousness. I'm going to share with you things along the way to help you to attune yourself more and more and more to your own natural, powerful, clear vibration, and removing the obstacles, the blockages, the stagnant energy that can sometimes get in the way. So today, we're going to be talking about the Transformation Masterclass. So I want to introduce this to you, the Transformation Masterclass, as an opportunity to journey along with me, to journey along with the community into mastering higher and higher degrees of how to use frequencies to truly transform your life. And then, as a special kind of gift, we're going to dive right into a transformational masterclass to give you a true taste of what it's like, of the hands-on, practical, engaged experience that the transformational masterclass is designed to be. So along the way, a little bit of housekeeping. Along the way, if you have questions, please just drop the questions down into the chat below. And periodically, I'll check into those questions. And we'll also make sure that there's a time for us to also have some Q&A. Hopefully, you guys will be stimulated and we'll have lots of different ideas and conversations that you'd like to have, and we'll be able to do that. I'll bring you on here and have this kind of one-on-one conversation too. So with that in mind, let's begin. Transformation Masterclass. Change your frequency and change your destiny. And indeed, so frequency, energy, vibration, we're going to get into all of this as the foundational principles of the masterclass. But what I want you to kind of get the set point for to begin with is that our experience as individuals is like one where we can compare it to a radio receiver. We are receiving a particular kind of reality. This life that we find ourselves in, our home, our family, our environment, is all an effect. It's not a cause. It's not something that's causing us to feel certain ways. It is an effect of our energy, of our frequency, of our vibration. And when we learn to consciously attune our frequency to our desired reality, to our desired, what does that mean, desired reality? It means to our desired state of consciousness. How would we like to have the experience be with our family? How would we like it to be in our business? How do we want our relationship to our body to be? You know, many people, you know, in our world kind of have this experience of some form of aches or pains or illness or different things like this. So we have this experience basically of the body kind of attacking us, right? Creating pain for us. So this is an experience of incoherent energy, and we're going to get into what we can really do to shift that, to make a difference in that area of our life. So a little bit about me, Boris Kerjner. I think many of you might have already been introduced to me through our conversations, maybe when you're getting your device, or maybe through a consultation around how to use and select particular frequencies. So my background really stems from really an early experience of being 18 years old and losing my mom to cancer. When my mom passed away at 18, my entire world was broken, shattered. All of my beliefs were really displaced because I thought my mom would always be there, and I was only 18 years old, and I just couldn't comprehend this. How could she? She was a doctor, and she went through all of the medical treatment to get, you know, the cure to fix this condition, this disease, this cancer, and yet nothing worked. How come? How come nothing worked? How come a doctor surrounded by other doctors couldn't do anything to help her? So this question really started my journey, and it caused me to dive deep into into questions like, how does health really work? What is the optimal state of our mind and body? And how do we actually move our lives into that optimal state? What do we do when we're sick? What can we really do? Because it seems that when we go to hospitals and doctors, the only thing that they did to my mom was kind of give her some painkillers so that it wouldn't be as painful to die. So I couldn't quite rest with that. And that led me down a long path, as you can see on the screen, all of these different certifications, all of this different exploration into, well, how do we achieve health, vibrancy, vitality? How do we live here in this world in a way that is inspired, in a way that we truly want to be here, in a way that we feel we belong, we contribute, it feels good. There are challenges, but just like going to the gym, or just like playing a game, or just like playing a sport, the challenges are exciting. It's something that pulls us forward. So this is what Transformation Masterclass is all about, is mastering every area of our life that is core and essential to our well-being. In the Masterclass series, you're going to learn to master the transformational power frequencies, which is learning how to use the power frequencies to consciously and intentionally transform every area of your life that really matters to you. We're also going to learn how to unlock a new paradigm. A new paradigm of what? A new paradigm of energy, frequency, and vibration. We're going to learn how to think about our life, how to think about the world, not in terms of matter versus matter, and trying to force and change situations through our exertion of this kind of effort, really kind of trying to push and pull things into our reality. No, instead, we're going to begin to leverage what Nikola Tesla talked about many years ago, the power of frequency, energy, and vibration. We're going to learn how to attune our consciousness so that we, just like television, just like a radio receiver, will receive the reality that we have selected, that we have chosen, that we have decided on, using the power of frequencies to help us, using the universal laws to help us, using our own intention and our own soul power, so to speak, to help us. And of course, we're going to learn how to heal from the past, which is to release those anchors of the past, that those programs, those beliefs, those traumas that have kept us stuck in a particular comfort zone. Of course, it's not very comfortable, but it is something that is familiar. And so in order for us to move towards something new, something novel, something that we haven't experienced before, we will have to step out of our comfort zone. And that means healing from the past. And then, of course, to empower our future, when we release those past baggages, we can bring the mind, body, and spirit into alignment with our core sense of centeredness, a core sense of power, so that we can really manifest the health and the wealth and the performance and longevity and all those things that are important to us. I want to begin by just sharing with you a few core principles. And what I want you to really understand from these is, this is a way of really sifting it out. These are the principles upon which the idea of using frequencies to transform is really based. So as we go through these three principles, I want you to really take in and find a resonance and ask yourself if you believe, or if you could be open to the idea that is conveyed through these principles. So principle number one is, everything is energy. Everything is vibration. What does this mean? One way I'd like you to think about it is, think about your dreams at night, okay? And if you kind of can't really connect with that space, I know that some people have the experience of either entirely not remembering the dreams or not having perhaps dreams at night. But again, then just think about your imagination. Imagine right now a rose appearing in the middle of space as you close your eyes. So that rose, what is it made out of? It's not matter, right? It's not anything physical. So just like our dreams at night, just like our imagination, this experience, this solid, seemingly immovable experience, is made up of the same substance. That substance we can call energy, we can call it vibration, we can call it frequency, we can call it consciousness. There's many different ways we can call it, but one thing that we need to understand is that we are essentially one with it. We are also energy, we are also frequency, we're also vibration. And there's that quote by Nikola Tesla, the secrets of the universe. So the secrets of the universe are kept by those who understand frequency, energy, and vibration. Okay, so this is the first principle, and we're going to get really deep into really understanding how to use it. This isn't theory. We're not working with theory in the Transformation Masterclass. We're really working with application, practical results. What do we actually do to make a difference? What I want you to look for is not knowledge, not information, but transformation. Look at some areas of your life, and we're going to go through this together in a moment, where you know that you want to shift, you know that you want a difference. And then we're going to apply what we're learning, and we're going to observe as a benchmark, as a thermometer, that area of our life, and see, oh, is it changing? Is it improving? So transformation principle number 2, which is I am 100% responsible for my life. I'm 100% responsible for my life, which means that I'm responsible for the way that I respond or react or meet or face things that are not something that I thought would be there, such as that timer with the duck swimming on it. So this principle of I'm 100% responsible for my life can be offensive to some people. And if you're feeling any stir for this, and if not yet, then will, because what this really means is that every experience that I face in life, how I feel and whether I am benefited by it or whether it is to my detriment, is determined 100% by me, 100% by my perception, which is determined by my beliefs. And if I leave my beliefs unchecked, I may say, well, I was just born this way, or I grew up this way, I was conditioned this way. But no, we're taking an even deeper responsibility. I'm responsible for my beliefs. I'm responsible for my relationships. I'm responsible for my health. And this is actually a tremendous gift. I know that our ego stirs inside and says, no, you know what? This person's responsible for the way I am because they hurt me, or my government, or whatever it may be. But the truth is that until you and I, take 100% responsibility for our life, what will happen is that we will be essentially powerless. We will be powerless to do anything about that. Oh, somebody shared with me that I can press the X to close the timer. Thank you. Let's try that. Is this? Ta-da! I appreciate that very much. Thank you, Johannes. So there we go. Here's one of my favorite quotes by Hal Elrod. The moment you accept responsibility for everything in your life is the moment you gain power to change anything in your life. And this is essentially very reflective of what I was just sharing, is until we say, I am truly responsible, that means that, maybe something has happened, maybe I lost my job, but I take responsibility for that, which means that I will say, well, what is it in my consciousness? Why out of the billions of people, it's me who lost my job? There must be something that I am doing. And here we're learning about the law of cause and effect, which takes us to our next principle here. Principle number 3. It appears without, though it is within. What does that mean? The law of cause and effect. Cause is not physical. You see, in the Newtonian paradigm of cause and effect, we have one thing, say this, bumping against something else and causing it to go that way. And so we may say, well, it's this rod or stand or whatever that's pushing the cell phone and causing it to tilt. Yes, but in a very limited sense, because what's actually causing all of this is, let's go up one level. Well, it's me holding both things, right? So there is a cause of a thought in me that is translated into an action that actually has then this result of pushing. But then where did my action originate? Where did that desire to do that move originate, right? So we begin to really understand that it's not physical. The ideas that this world is made up of, this computer that we're on and the Zoom that we're speaking with, these were only ideas. It was first within the mind, within consciousness. And then it appeared without. It appeared as physical reality. This home that I'm standing in was once just an idea. Then it was written. Then it was drafted. Then they got the materials, and then they built it up. Appears without, though it is within. So the law of cause and effect is really that the cause is in consciousness, and the effect is this manifest reality. Okay? So it appears without, though it is within. And this is the final principle that we really have to kind of appreciate if we want to learn how to manifest the life that we want to experience, how to create true transformation, right? And I'm going to read you this quote from one of my favorite mentors. So his name is Neville Goddard. Stop trying to change the world, since it is only the mirror. Man's attempt to change the world by force is as fruitless as breaking a mirror in the hope of changing his face. Leave the mirror alone and change your conception or conceptions of yourself. So what this is really saying is that the world that we experience is founded not on some arbitrary reality out here that then it comes in, but in fact, it is founded on our own self-concept. If my self-concept, my self-image is one of somebody who is not very good, who's always tired, who's, things don't really go my way, and there I am. I really believe this about myself. For years, I've been saying this, and now other people around me have been saying this because they watched me and I taught them how to treat me. Now they see that I'm that way. And now I walk into a situation where somebody wants to give me something amazing, an opportunity, a possibility to open my life. And you know what I will do? I'll walk right by it, because I'll have my head down. I will be kind of sulking. I know that it's not for me. And somebody might say, hey, Boris. And I'd be like, oh, no, I can't accept that. I'm never good at those things. And that's what we do. So this is why the core of transformation is self-transformation. It's the transformation of our concept of ourselves. When we begin to shift that, when we begin to feel like a lucky person, like a person who's, things always go my way. I catch lucky breaks all the time. I have so much energy. People love me, and I have this kind of concept. Now I walk outside, and even if it's a poor environment, there's very little opportunity. My consciousness, the reticular activating system in my brain, is in fact that part which will then seek out the opportunities that match my self-image, that match the belief, the complex of beliefs, the core beliefs that I have about myself. Do you see that? It appears without, though it is within. So now we know these principles, and we know that there's techniques to come. We know that there's frequencies, there's things we can use, but now how do we use it? How do we make a difference? What do we actually do to make a difference in our life? Here is the mistake that most people make. They approach frequencies, for example, and they see so many powerful, beautiful frequencies. They say, I want that, and I want that, and I want that. And this is called the shiny object syndrome. In the world of personal development and entrepreneurship, we call it the shiny object syndrome, which means that as I'm here working on something, I know I'm going to get a result, and then something over here catches my attention. I'm like, what's that? And it pulls me off track. And now I think, oh, that's an even better opportunity than what I was just investing my time on. And I go and run after that. So the way to mastery is through focus, okay? We need to focus, not for long. We need to use, in the beginning, our willpower. You see, all of our programming, the programming that makes us automatically desire certain things, reject certain things, the programming that makes us act certain ways, think certain ways, speak certain ways, all of that programming was once not there, and we had to learn it through repetition. So repetition occurred, and that made us adapt to a certain way. And so we found one form of adaptation, and then that same kind of similar situation came up again. We did the same thing again. It still worked out. So our brain, which is a very efficient organ, it is the organ of efficiency. It basically atrophies anything that you do not use, okay? And will keep defaulting to what is easy, what is familiar. This is why so many of us are stuck in our comfort zones, stuck in particular set points, holding patterns. And even though we mentally want to move out of it, we don't. And the reason that we don't is, again, because we require willpower to actually do that. We require repetition. So the true and tested path towards mastery and transformation is to focus on particular outcomes, be specific, something you can see, something you can, that in your mind's eye, you can really appreciate, not an arbitrary kind of general sense of like, well, you know what, I want better health. No, not better health. You want specific kind of outcome. For example, I want to wake up every morning feeling refreshed, that I actually have the energy to jump out of bed. This is how I want to feel. So now you have something that your mind can really visualize. It's tangible, it's more specific. You may say, I want to wake up, even get us getting more specific. I want to wake up at 7 o'clock and I want to have that experience. So we can begin to work in this way. But right now, I'm going to share with you a quick map, whole life mastery, okay? So what's this about? It's about really breaking down our life into segments, into categories, so that we can really evaluate, number one, really important. The only way that you know that you will progress is if you create a benchmark. You say, I started here, now for 30 days I did something, now I'm here, or now I'm here. And that's the only way that you can really know if it worked. Believe me when I say that our memory is tremendously deceptive. Unless you create these kind of experiences for yourself, you may go through this. And this is, again, got to do with the way that our ego is designed. Our ego is designed to create the illusion of change, but without real change. It will have you going and moving after everything, learning things, talking about things. But in the end of your life, at the end of the day, nothing much has changed. There was no real transformation. Your mind is full of things, hopes, wishes, but no transformation. And this is the way that we catch it. We say, I was here, I'm going to do this, I'm committing to this, and now let's see where I am after that. So let's begin. Here, I'm going to give you this example. So you may have it for yourself, but I want you to have a piece of paper right now. And each of these areas, there's going to be 8 of them. And each of these areas, I want you to give yourself a score of 0 to 10. 10 means that you fully align and agree that your life matches the description that we have over here. Now, this description is something, again, kind of arbitrary. Yours might be a little bit different, but I think you'll get the direction as we read this. So let me read this for you and let it kind of pour over you and just see, where are you on this scale? Where does your particular experience fall? Okay. So health. I regularly take care of myself so that I can feel my best. I want my overall physical and emotional health, my well-being, to be primed and optimized to make me feel energetic and strong each day. I strive to eat well, sleep well, and work out so that I can have the physical vibrancy and stamina to enjoy life and to deal with the challenges and opportunities. Okay, so where are you on a scale of 1 to 10? How close are you to that statement? That statement is really implying a mastery of health. It doesn't mean static place of mastery like perfection. We're not going to experience perfection on the physical plane, right? Because everything is always in a state of flux and change. So even if you have a moment of perfection, it will change and go away, right? Perfection is achieved and is already actually the case inside in our consciousness. So that was health. Now let's take a look at the next one, mental and emotional, okay? So in the mental and emotional arena or category, rate yourself. I keep a positive outlook and attitude. I'm cultivating a sense of joy and peace in my life so that I can experience positive emotions and relationships. And I take care of myself by being mindful to the energy, focus, and emotions that I really want to experience and generate in my life. Okay? Notice that sense of taking responsibility and see where you are at right now on a scale of 0 to 10. 10 means that you're right here. 0 means you're on the opposite end. 0 means that you have a negative outlook and attitude, and you're cultivating a sense of depression and anxiety in your life, right? So see where you're at. Next is intimate relationship. And I put this as a separate category because it's a very core part of our life. So if you are in a relationship, I feel a consistently deep, trusting, and appreciative, soulful, loving connection with my significant other. I am patient, respectful, and attentive to my partner's needs. Notice that it's not talking about your partner. It's talking about you, me, right? This is back to the responsibility. When we cultivate these qualities in our consciousness, they will naturally appear in our life, as within, so without. And if you're single, then I live each day through my heart and demonstrate compassion and love for others. Okay, see where you're at on that. Next, we have social connection, which is the greater sphere of relationships. I am present with the people in my life. I'm creating deep connections and fun and positive energy with the people that I keep in contact with. I seek out positive people, and I do my best to bring positive energy and real authenticity into all of my relationships. It is evident that I love the people that I'm spending my time with. I'm doing my best for them. I try to forgive them. I try to forgive their mistakes and be compassionate with them. Okay? So once again, rate your experience of relationship and social connection with your friends, your family, your colleagues, just your community. And if your community is non-existent, if you are isolated and alone, unless this is really part of your deep, inspired spiritual practice, then most likely there's an obstacle, there's a block, there is a discordant energy that is keeping you separate. Next is purpose. I feel clear, energized, and fulfilled by my work and my contributions to the world. I believe my work or my day's effort adds real value and is a true reflection of my best efforts and contributions. I'm truly engaged and excited by what I'm doing. It feels like a mission, a calling, or a purpose. Okay? So see where you're at. Are you connected to a sense of purpose or not? Not at all. So rate yourself. And then spirit. I feel connected to the present moment and vitally alive in my spirit. I'm congruent with my beliefs and behaviors, and I keep my faith and my values at the forefront of my decisions and daily actions. Okay, so evaluate yourself on that, your connection to spirit, your connection to oneness, your connection to the greater spheres of life and the present moment. And then finances. Another major area of our life that so many people who are spiritual, who are, wanting to, really experience a depth of connection with God, with life, with spirituality, to really want to do good in the world, very often this is an area that is distorted in our lives. So here it is. I am being responsible in how I spend my money. I'm saving money for my future. I'm learning the skills necessary to develop my ability and generate even more abundance. I am happy with my lifestyle and I allow myself to enjoy what I've built and earned. Okay? So there we have finances, right? Rated on a scale of 1 to 10. And personal growth. This is, I believe, the last one. Personal growth, our growth mindset. If we are not growing, we are stagnating. Again, back to the principles of energy and chi. Stagnation means death, disease. It means the end of life, so to speak. It's a suspended state. When there's stagnation in our body, our organs become diseased. Our demeanor diminishes. Our memory may disappear. All kinds of different things go wrong when energy stagnates. So this is about that part where we're committing and saying, no, I'm not going to stagnate. I'm going to continue to flow with life. So personal growth, rate yourself on this one. I am curious and pay attention to the world around me so that I can learn new things. I ask questions. I seek to discover new things about myself and others. I have created a personal curriculum for myself so that I can develop the skills necessary to succeed. Okay, do you have a personal curriculum? The Transformation Masterclass may be part of your personal curriculum. But do you have a personal curriculum at this point? Do you have something that continues to move you forward, that continues to expand you beyond your current limitations into greater spheres of possibility, potential? Okay? So there we have the areas, and I hope you have a sheet or you've written this down somewhere so you have a good benchmark for us to start. Okay, so now we're about to jump into an experience of Transformation Masterclass. We're going to be talking about how to remove negative energy, okay? And so before we do that, I really want to set the tone here, because mindset is about 80% of the success. So I want you to get really present with me here for a moment and really get these points down. Because as you do, you will set yourself up for an experience of being deeply receptive, of learning the most that you can, retaining the most that you can, and really being able to apply and benefit from what you're learning and the time that you're investing here, which, by the way, thank you. So here we go. Number one is be clear about your intention. Write down what is the outcome that you want, okay? So in this case, you may look at the list that we just did. This was to help you to really get clear on what is it that you want. See which areas of your life really need your support, really need your attention. And maybe put a star next to that one so that you know, okay, so my intention is I want to grow in this area. I want improvement in this area. I know there may be many areas, but I want you to begin by focusing on one, okay? Because at the end of this, there's going to be a challenge that I'm going to invite you into. And as you apply this challenge, I want you to notice that area which you starred, that area which is the most important, that's a priority for you. And we're going to see next time we speak, how was that? What did you experience? Did you see that shift? Because we may not even be working directly with that area. Let's say your area is relationships, but we're learning how to remove negative energy. And it's a practice that you will do on a daily basis. Well, we're going to see actually what is the impact that that had on your relationship, because I promise you that it will. The way that this work really unfolds is that we are working. Remember, in the beginning, we said it's self-transformation, but as we transform ourselves, as we change even the tiniest pattern of or even the tiniest belief, our reality, just like a mirror, morphs and changes. As you smile at the mirror smiles back. As you frown, the mirror frowns. So number one, be clear about your intention. Write down the outcome that you want. Then number two, know your why. This is the fuel. So if you have something, let's say you start a relationship and you're like, oh, yeah, I want to improve this part, but then you're not clear about the why, you're going to have no fuel. You're going to have this wish, this fantasy again, like we talked about earlier. You're going to have information. You may even learn about it, but nothing will change. So you really need to connect with that bigger why. Why is it important for you? Why must you do it now? And you may say, I'm going to keep with that example. And they say, my why for improving my relationship is that this is the main part of my life. I spend so much time with this person, and I deserve to be happy in this experience. And so does the other person. We've committed to spend time together. We have to figure out how to make it harmonious, how to make it so that it's a joy and a pleasure for us to be together. Right? So that could be a greater fuel. Or maybe you have kids and maybe you're saying, wow, the reason why is because I want to set a new example for my kids. I remember when I was younger and how much my parents used to quarrel and fight. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to change it. It stops with me. It stops with me. Okay? So this is how you really connect with the fuel in order to be able to take the actions and stay with the commitment, stay with the consistency in order to change your pattern. Okay? Number three is believe and affirm that it's possible for you. If you are here and you're listening to me and you're like, yeah, Boris, that all sounds nice. I've heard about these things, but I've never seen it work. See, the thing is, the myth is that I will believe it when I see it. But the truth from the point of view of reality creation, of being responsible for the inside out experience, it appearing without, though it is within to without, we have to believe. This is the core. So if you don't believe in your power, you're literally impotent. It's as if somebody who's sitting over here, let's say, and they suddenly have the belief that they don't know how to walk. And this happens to people, right? You must have heard about people that have amnesia. Sometimes they don't just forget people and where they are and what their name is. Sometimes they forget how to walk or talk or anything, right? So this person, there's nothing wrong with him. He can physically get up and walk, but he can't, right? Because of the belief, because of the thought. And the thought does not allow to even engage the possibility. And so this space of believing and affirming, and how do we build the belief? It's by practicing, by affirming. So let's say that I am not so sure if I am confident, but I want to be confident. And I say, okay, well, I don't believe that I'm confident yet. So how do I develop that? I seem to be stuck. It's like between a rock and a hard place, and I don't know how to get out, right? Wrong. The way that we build belief is first through faith. So we must first say, this is possible for me. I don't have this belief now, but I can acquire it. I can build it up because I used to not have other beliefs. If I look at my past, I used to have different beliefs than I have now. They have changed somehow, didn't they? So the way to create belief is to, first of all, affirm it, say, yes, this is possible for me, and then to continuously put yourself in that state. So we can use frequencies to do it, we can use affirmations, we can use visualization, but in essence, back to that example of feeling confident, close your eyes. Imagine yourself feeling confident. Imagine what a conversation might be like a 10-second clip of a conversation where you are deeply confident and you are aware of it. And then you replay it. This is how we reprogram our mind. This is how we change beliefs. And there are other techniques too. With the power of frequencies, this can go faster, deeper, more profound. So number 4, remember that you get out what you put in. There is no way for me to give you anything unless you also give it to yourself. What does that really mean? What that means is that the attention, the energy, the presence, the desire to learn, the desire for transformation, desire for change, this is a necessary ingredient that has to be in you, okay? So what you bring to this time that we have together, what you bring to the masterclass, what you bring to your life is what you will get out. If you're kind of like, nah, about your life, and you feel a little bit apathetic, and you're just like, yeah, well, if the government doesn't change, then I won't change, or life won't change. And that's what you will get back. You will get back that kind of energy. But if you step into it and you say, you know what, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best. I'm just right here. And I don't know exactly what the way is, but I am willing, I am able, I am ready. And by golly, I will get it done. Right? So that's a difference in attitude. I'm kind of jocular around this, but in essence, that's it, right? And you can see that the energy is different. This energy versus this energy. And this, what's the difference? It's a choice. I want you to make that choice right now to show up right here, right now for our masterclass, which we're about to dive into. Bring your full energy, presence, and attention. Bring it here. Bring it here as if something magnificent is happening here, as if you paid $10,000 to be here right now. Show up in that kind of way, and you're going to get the value of somebody who paid $10,000. Okay? So next is interact and participate live. Not only now, but also in the future masterclasses. Really bring your sense of engagement and possibility and community, and ask questions, really participate, because that gets you into it, that gets you engaged, that makes your mind feel like, oh, this is important. Let me really, take in from it. Let me really, believe. Let me really test it out. Of course, minimize distractions. So before we dive into the next segment, really make sure that you're really available for it. You do want to learn how to remove negative energy. I think there's nobody on the planet who, unless they already know it, doesn't want to learn this skill. So really understand that if you learn this, in 5 minutes, you can change the way that you feel. You will no more be bad days if you apply it. There's no promise that this will magically help your bad days if you never touch it and never do anything. But if you apply it, no more bad days, no more hours of brooding in bad moods. You can break out of it, and we'll show you how. So, but to do that, minimize your distractions, make sure your Facebook and notifications and phone and everything is off so that you can really be here. And then, of course, share your breakthroughs. Go right into the chat and share. Even share breakthroughs, as in, what do I mean by breakthrough? Breakthrough means you got something new. You got an insight. You understood something in a new way. And so you may want to share that with others. You actually will remember it more for yourself, but also you will benefit other people. So if something that I said to you stands out, like a quote or like an idea, you may want to type that into the chat just so that you remember it more, and so you share it with other people as well. Yeah, and commit to completing each challenge. Like I said, you only get out what you put in. So when you engage with the challenge that I'll offer you at the end, that's when you will actually reap the benefits. You have to, I can tell you what this water, the drinking, the experience of drinking this water is like, but it's impossible to literally actually to compare it with what the experience really is like. My words, my direction, my guidance is useless and very inept to really convey what this is. So the proof is in the practice. And now let's dive in to Transformation Masterclass, how to remove negative energy. So the way that these masterclasses will unfold is we will always have some core frequency that we're working with. And if you don't have that particular frequency, no worries. I'm actually going to play the frequency for you in this masterclass. So you can always, especially if you are a member of the masterclass later down the line, you can always refer back, you can replay that part, or I'll also make sure to get you kind of the best deals on the frequency bundles that we use. Or if you don't have it and you're not really interested in that particular one, let me know. Again, you can always ask, you can email. By the way, we're going to have a community on the on Mighty Networks. I'll mention that in a little bit too, show you the app, where you can always ask me to say, hey, I don't have that frequency. What frequency do you suggest instead? Here's what I have, and we'll find the substitute frequencies for you. But this one's available for free. I'll make sure that Marvin, maybe I can ask you to find the link for the remove negative energy frequency and just share it in the chat with the participants. And but don't worry about it just yet. Don't worry about playing it or anything like that. Stay here with me, and you'll need that later down the line for the challenge. We're really going to break down in the simplest way what negative energy is, how do we move it, how do we actually reclaim our power, how do we become such a person that actually is excited when he meets negative energy, she meets negative energy, because you know that you're about to reclaim power, reclaim chi. You're about to level up. Whenever you're experiencing any challenge, you're going to change a lot of this, because so much of our mind movies play episodes for us when we're in fear or in anxiety or in depression or something didn't go our way. It plays all these movies of how things will continue to not work out, or how hard it will be. And you're going to see that it's not hard. If you're dealing matter to matter, it is hard. It is difficult. It is forceful. But when you're working with a level of energy, frequency, vibration, it is different. But the key is consistency, and the key is application. If you don't apply, nothing will change. So we're going to learn what negative energy is, where it comes from, how to recognize it, how to reclaim your power and use negative energy for your growth and evolution, what to do to powerfully neutralize and clear negative energy from your mind and body, how to release and transform negative energy in just 5 minutes, and then also how to unleash your greatest power and potential so that you can manifest your desires without being overwhelmed. What is negative energy and where does it come from? So in essence, the only reason that we experience negative energy is because of our own set point, okay? So what is negative to one person may be neutral to another and maybe actually be positive to somebody else. But here it is. It really has to do with our own reaction to it. So when we perceive something negative, when we perceive something that we want to avert or avoid, there's something that begins to happen in our body. We contract, right? Think about fear. Think about something fearful. What's the reaction? The reaction is like, oh, yeah, right? Like that. So think about the time where you are in harmony and peace, and you're a lot more like, right? Just like open, available, flow. So negative energy is simply that energy that has been frozen, so to speak, stagnated, the energy that has turned into tension. Why did it turn into tension? Well, here's the really big kicker of it. It's because of the way we perceived it. When we perceived it as negative, it had negative effects for us. When we perceive it as positive, it will have positive effects for us. Let me just show you like a very simple example. And I think this is like an old Taoist or Zen poem or story. So it kind of goes like this. I might have more of a short version of it. But there was a father and a son in a village. And the conscriptors, it was a time of war, so the conscriptors were going around and wanting to draft people into the war. So that was the setting, and they lived on a farm. They were farmers. And so one time, the horse that they had to plow the land, to till the land, or whatever they used for transformation, the horse ran away. And the neighbors came to the father and said, that is so bad. That is so unfortunate. Your horse ran away. Now you are completely stuck. Now you can't do what you're here to do. You may go bankrupt. You may lose your, so on. And then you know what he answered? He said, maybe yes, maybe no, maybe. We'll see. So he didn't judge it, but the neighbor judged it as negative. So so the neighbor, if he had that experience, this would be a very negative experience. It would create stagnation for him. This guy said, maybe yes, maybe no. The next day, the horse came back. So the horse ran away, and they came back with 3 wild horses. Okay, so it brought back more horses. Now there's more resource. And the neighbor comes again. He's like, oh, so very fortunate, so very fortunate. This is such a great thing. You got these horses now. And he said, maybe yes, maybe no. We'll see. So he didn't judge it. Then his son went on and to break in the new horses, because they were wild horses, right? So to be able to use them, you have to break them in. And the horse kicked him off, and he broke his leg. And now the neighbors come again and says, oh, such a misfortune, such a misfortune. Your son's leg is broken. And the guy again said, maybe yes, maybe not. Right? So do you see? You see, we're balancing on this like teeter-totter, this seesaw of, if you believe that it is bad, you collapse. So this guy is a Zen master, because he is not taking a position on it, which is level beyond. But right now we're just talking about the positive and negative. So the next day, the conscriptors came to the house, and they said they were there to draft his son into the army, and his leg was broken. So they passed by. You see? So we never know what the outcome of any situation is, but the way that we respond to it, the way that we perceive it, the way that we believe about it, the way we think about it, that's what determines our experience of negative energy or positive energy or neutral energy, right? So this is where it is. Where does it come from? It comes from our perception. It comes from the way that we think. Let's bring it back here. So next is how to reclaim and use negative energy for your growth and evolution, right? So here I wanted to share with you, here's the context. I want you to set aside everything you learned so far about negative energy and what to do with it, because most of our reaction is we see negative energy, we're like, run the other way, right? Run the other way, or resist it or fight it, or and that's what we're doing. But set that aside for a second. Negative energy is actually your energy. It is power. It is chi. It is life force, except that it is stuck. It is as if, I'm going to give you an image. Think about an Easter egg, right? Think about every form of negative energy that you experience in your life as an Easter egg, because now we can hunt them. Because inside of each Easter egg is more of your power, more of your potential, more of your possibility. You see, the more you are unafraid, the more of these Easter eggs you eat back, the more of this energy that you reabsorb, reclaim, the greater power that you have. Now you can use that same energy to create, to inspire, to manifest change. So the way that we are going to begin to think about negative energy is we're going to start to see it like this. There is a gift inside of it. Each time that I feel off, why am I feeling off? Because I am under a spell. I'm under a particular set of beliefs and perceptions that are due to things that have happened to me before I was even consciously able to choose, which is like 0 to 7 years old, is where almost all of our decision-making capacity is pre-programmed, okay? We literally absorb it. So unless you have consciously gone in and changed your belief structures, changed your set points, then they are still back how they formed, when you were 7. So the way that we're going to approach negative energy is we're going to say, inside of each of these experiences of negative energy is my power, and I'm going to reclaim it. So anytime that instead of I do what I was programmed to do, what my mind tells me to do, which is to run or fight or stress out or shut down, Instead of that, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to face it head on, and I'm going to use the power of frequencies. I'm going to use the power of my intention, and I'm going to really create a shift. I'm going to reclaim that energy. What do we do now with that energy? What to do to powerfully neutralize and clear negative energy from your body, okay? From your mind and body. Well, here it is. It's change your vibration, okay? And this is, again, right, so cliche, but it's only cliche, it's only theoretical until it's practical, until we actually take hold of the reins and really experience this shift, okay? In the beginning, we're going to use more kind of intense ways to do that because our sensitivity is low and we're a little bit set, so to speak, in our ways. But as we become more fluid, as we really enter into the paradigm of frequency, vibration, and energy, then the techniques can be much more subtle. So the key to transforming negative energy to neutral or positive energy is to change your vibration. So there's an ancient text called the Kabbalion. And if you've never checked it out and you're interested in the laws of the universe and how things work, it's a beautiful, powerful, succinct text. It states, nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. So when we change our vibration, we are changing the set point. Like the negative energy is a form of stagnation. Remember, we learned that. It's kind of that contraction that happens around a certain topic or a certain moment or a certain, and then it reflects in our body because remember, it appears without, though it is within. Our body is not so much the within. Within is consciousness. Within is mind. The body is already an outpicturing, and it's the first outpicturing, and then appears the rest of the world. So the body will always first experience most readily. It's the most sensitive piece of equipment that you have to see what vibration that you are in. And then you can see it also around you as you become more sensitive. So Einstein said, everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality we want to experience, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. So that's a quote from Einstein that really is encapsulating everything that we've just talked about. We are going to be changing our vibration. We're going to be shifting our frequency. And that's the way that we reclaim the power. That's the way that we free ourselves of these set holding patterns. Okay? So we're going to get next into the practice, the actual practice, the application of it. And it's going to be a 5-minute practice where I'm going to show you that in these 5 minutes, you can change the way you feel, you can restore the flow of energy, and effectively neutralize negative energy. But before that, if you have any questions, either raise your hand or drop them into the chat box below. We've talked about a lot today. I kind of gave you a lot in a short period of time. And I really encourage you to go back and watch this again because those are the founding principles. But if any questions come up, please let me know. Let's address this. I want to move when I feel trapped. Do you mean you want to move in a physical sense? Like you want to move from one house to another, or you want to move from one state to another and you feel trapped? Let me know about that and I'll kind of continue to talk about it. But if you want to move and you feel trapped, the experience of feeling trapped is the stagnant energy. It is the so-called negative energy. It is the contraction, stagnation. And so this is why we're starting here. We're starting with how to remove negative energy. Excuse me a second. So when you free yourself of the holding pattern, then for a moment, that moment can be long or short, depending on how much, let's say, baggage, for lack of a better term, how much history you have of that holding pattern, how much power and momentum it has. Here's the key to success. The key to success is momentum. But the key to failure is also momentum. Okay? So if you have a momentum of doing the wrong thing for a long time, you have the key to failure. If you have the momentum of doing the right thing, you have the key to success. So here's the reply. saying, yes, I don't like my house and environment, feeling sick from living there, So you may feel, I'm assuming, I don't know exactly your situation. You may feel trapped because of financial reasons or because of family reasons. So all of these things, they are thought forms. So if this is a way that you want to prove to yourself, thank you, by the way, for these questions. If this is a way that you want to prove to yourself that I do have the power of creation, I am responsible for my reality, I can change it, then you can most certainly apply everything that we're learning to this. Number one is freeing yourself of that belief that you feel sick from living there. You see, again, to feel sick from living there, and I understand this completely on a Newtonian paradigm. Yes, there's different things. There's mold, maybe a noisy environment, EMFs, all kinds of different things may be affecting you negatively. But remember, in this masterclass, we're going from the inside out. We're focused on self-transformation. So I bet you, and well, let's scrap that. Let's say, can you imagine that there's 1,000 more people in just the same situation as you, but they don't like where they're living, maybe it's not a healthy environment, but at the same time, they have a sense of purpose, they have a sense of connection, and they are still able to thrive in their life. Maybe their environment is not as supportive, but if there's one such person who begins to thrive in an environment that's not supportive, they will eventually vibrate out of that environment. Our experience, everything that we see around us, is a direct reflection of our consciousness. There is no other way around it. It is as within, so without. So the only reason that we are in an environment like that, in a house environment that we feel sick and we don't like it and we feel trapped there, the only reason that that's happening is because it's a match to our vibration. So we're going to right now begin to shift and change that vibration. We're going to begin to shift and change the negative energy. And this is going to later translate, as you continue with this practice, it's going to translate to freeing you up of your old vibration. And at first, the space is going to be neutral and clear. And as we continue to grow together, I'm going to show you how to begin to program and condition that space. But many of you, even from a place of clarity and neutrality, will be able to take the next step and reclaim some of the power, catch a vision, catch a sense of purpose, and take off in a new direction. And that feeling of being trapped is going to be released. So that's what we're going to be focused on here in the next 5 minutes or so. So let me do this. I'm going to engage you with the practice, but I also want to bring on the frequency, and I want to play it for you. Okay, so what I want you to do in preparation for this is I want you to just, again, make sure you're in an environment where you can participate. I'm going to ask you to stand up. I'm going to ask you to move your body slightly, and we're also going to be using the frequency. But first, let's just go over this real brief, okay? So the power of frequencies, of course, you can use them on their own. You can just relax, or you can watch TV or do different things as you're using it. But you will get a portion of the benefit when you engage your consciousness, and then also when you add the complementary engagement of really adding a technique, adding a way to really engage with the frequency, engage with the intention, then you multiply exponentially the effect that the frequency can have on you. So just 5 minutes will be a tremendously powerful state change, and we're going to experience that together. The first thing that I want you to do is benchmark. What is the level of negative energy that you're experiencing right now? Maybe you could say, maybe right now not too much, but get a benchmark. Negative energy means stagnation. It means a sense maybe of tiredness, a sense of heaviness, or you may bring up a certain negative energy by thinking about, saying, okay, which area of my life? You can go back to your list and you can say, oh, here's the lowest score that I got, and think about it and allow yourself to feel the sourness, so to speak, of it, okay? The weight of it, and we're going to apply this together. So benchmark right now, note where you are, not the same scores as you had, which is evaluation of your life arenas, right? But now, what is the level of energy that you have right now? 0 to 10, you may be in relation to a specific category, again, or it may be just in your overall, you tune into your body. Where am I right now? Tune into your body. and note down on that scale of 1 to 10 or 0 to 10 what your current level is. And I'm going to begin to play the frequency, and we'll begin to work with this. I really want this to be just in the background for us. So let me know, even as the frequency is playing, you can still hear me, right? If you can't, let me know, but otherwise, I'm going to assume that you can hear me. Okay, so now we have the frequency playing in the background, and we'll get deeper into how the frequency is actually helping us. In essence, it's holding an open door, a possibility for us to walk into. It helps to entrain our body into the state where release is possible, where beautiful, you can hear me. Thank you so much. So here's what we're going to begin to do. We're going to activate the flow of energy. So this is how in 5 minutes you will get this experience of energy. Okay? So take your hands. You're going to see that this is how athletes do it too. Begin to just take your arms. I'm going to step back because it's nice to just have your arms down, just like this. Begin to just shake. Begin to shake your arms. And if you're sitting, it's okay. Just get your arms up like this and begin to shake it back and forth. Shake it and now begin to breathe. Allow the frequency to just wash over you. And begin to breathe just like athletes. Have you seen athletes get ready? And they're kind of like, you don't need to do it as intense, but begin to breathe in your nose. Keep shaking. If you're standing up, very nice. Bend your knees and balance a little bit into your knees. Continue to shake your arms and wrists and hands. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Continue to shake back and forth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And if you're sitting, you can maybe drop even your arms along the sides of the chairs. Let your shoulders bounce up and down as you shake. Shake and feel vibration down into your feet. Continue to breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. So this, how long do we do this for? We're probably about a minute into it. I would suggest doing maybe like go another minute. I really want you to feel the shift. I really want you to feel the change. So just continue to shake. Allow yourself to relax into the shaking. When we're shaking, we are loosening energy in our body. This is also what animals naturally do. You will see that these animals, the dogs, they get into a little fight, or even ducks, and you can see that right afterwards they will shake themselves, they will shake their feathers, they will, and the dogs might just all around. This is to release that negative energy, to release the stagnation. Continue to breathe, continue to shake. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Go for another half a minute here. Doesn't matter how you shake, but just continue to move, just continue to shake. Continue to feel your wrists, your fingers, your arms, your shoulders. Breathe in deep, and breathe out through your mouth. Okay, now stop. Stop and just feel, listen and feel. You feel that flow of energy down to your fingertips. This is chi energy. We just released the stagnation. Close your eyes and feel. Feel the tingling, buzzing sensation. And now we're going to take just one more step, which is the release and integrate. So all of the negative energy, it has to do with our first three centers. The roots, the sacrum, and the solar plexus. That's where the majority of our trauma, stagnation, fears, hurts. Breathe. Put your hands on your belly. And breathe. Breathe into those lower three centers. Push your belly out all the way. Push your belly out as you breathe. Like literally force it out. And then exhale. and pull it back in. So in this diaphragmatic breath, for just a minute or so, breathing in deep and profoundly, and breathing out gently, slowly. And just like a mantra, I want you to begin to say to yourself, with each exhale, release, release, release. So breathing in all the way, pushing the belly out, activating the vagal nerve. And on the exhale, mentally repeat, release. And just relax into the exhale. And on the next inhale, again, pushing the belly out. And on the exhale, release. One more. Breathe in, push the belly out. And on the exhale, release. Okay, so there you have it. How was that practice for you? The releasing of and turning tension and stagnation into free flowing energy. Do you feel different? Do you feel more flexible, more open, more available? Check in with your body, check in with your mind. I'd love to hear from somebody. I'd love to hear about how it went for you, either in chat or if you want to put your hand up and talk. Hi.
Okay. Hi. Yeah, when we first started, I had something that had been bothering me. It was already on my mind, and I tried to get myself into a neutral place when we started so that I would have a benchmark to see what had happened. And so I was able to get myself down into like a 5, which was a little bit more neutral for me. And then I thought about the situation that was causing me a lot of tension, stress. It didn't seem like there's any answer to get through it because it involves another person. Mm-hmm. And so I did the exercise. And when we first started the exercise, my tension was very high and my heart started beating very rapidly. And then as we started to move and shake and do the breathing, I could feel it go down into my solar plexus. And then as we continued, I could feel it just barely there. I mean, it's not bothering me right now. I don't feel the tension in my body, and I feel a lot more positive. It doesn't matter because now I'm taking care of myself. So the situation, this is what I'm kind of like transforming into, that I need to take care of myself and, you know, how I am going to handle this and transmute it through my thoughts, my intentions, my expectations, that sort of thing. And the movement did help.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Cheryl. Yeah, it's exactly like that. It's, you know, sometimes we feel that there are situations that are outside of our control. In fact, most of life in that way is outside of our control, especially because most of life is made up of other people. But when we begin to shift our energy, other people respond to us differently. And not only people, but like really powerful mirrors are children or animals. In fact, there's something called equestrian therapy, which is where you're working with a horse, and the horse directly responds to your emotions. And when you shift, the horse shifts. So it's the same thing. That same principle applies. So what we're doing here, it seems that it's just about us, but really it's as within, so without. So we really are going to, in the end, impact our relationships with others too.
I have a question for you about the frequency. I do have that particular program on my Coil, so I do play it. And I'm wondering, is 5 minutes enough for us to get the change that we're wanting to shift? And how often should we be doing it?
Yeah, so you're almost kind of leading us into that next step of the challenge. And so to answer you, when you combine your intention and a technique like what we're talking about, 5 minutes can be very, very powerful. If you are just listening to the frequency kind of in the background, then longer listening times would be better. Maybe, especially if you're playing with your chi coils, maybe you want to leave it on for maybe up to 20 minutes or something like this. But as you combine them, and you can even do this, you can have your chi coil right next to you, or you can even hold it, and you could still do the same thing. It doesn't, it's not only auditory, but it's even more powerful, more effective when you're using any of the frequency emitting devices. So, but the key is this, the key is consistency. If you do it once for 5 minutes, you might feel nice, you might kind of catch a little buzz and feel, okay, this is nice. But if we do this, and in the end, or in a moment, I'm going to introduce the challenge, but if we do this consistently for a period of time, when we apply our willpower to really change this pattern the next day, again the next day, then we begin to change our set point. And that has a much more lasting effect. That means that next time when you would likely begin to feel this energy again and fall into it, you may not fall in as much. And then later on, you may avoid it altogether. And later on, you may not even notice it.
So sometimes I only have time to listen to this on my way to work. Is that okay to listen to it in that way?
To listen to it? Do you mean like you take your chi coils with you?
Yes.
Beautiful. Yeah, I think that's a good way to do it. But again, so there's levels. So let me break it down. Level number one, the most base level where you're getting benefit, but more of a minimal amount, is, let's say you're doing it and you're watching TV. Let's say you're doing it and you're watching the news. This is the lowest level. And then the next level beyond that, maybe you're watching something kind of neutral. Next level may be that you are now sitting and watching something inspirational or something along the lines of what you're hoping to achieve. If it's about you maybe watching or listening would be even a level up, because you can kind of like, you're less stimulated by the frequencies that are being put out from the television. Okay, so it's these kind of levels that we would say, and then the highest level would be for you to engage with the frequency directly. So you're not, let's say if somebody's working towards abundance, maybe they're going to listen to the book Think and Grow Rich and use the frequencies at the same time. Very powerful practice. But even more powerful in the next level is for you to engage with the frequency directly, engage with the feeling of abundance, and really use your consciousness and your mind to facilitate and foster that. So my answer to you is that, Cheryl, of course you're getting benefit, but I would say that if you are up for it, I'm going to introduce the challenge here in a moment. The challenge will only take you 5 minutes. So if you have 5 minutes before work to use it in a more focused and concentrated way, beautiful. And then you could still do, your additional frequencies on the ride. Is that helpful?
Yes. Would you encourage us to also maybe do some creative writing with this, or visualization with this as well?
Yeah, you can definitely add your own. Here in this introduction, in kind of introductory space, I'm keeping it very simple. But as we continue to go deeper, we're definitely going to engage more of these practices that you're talking about. But if you're already familiar with them, you can certainly bring them in.
Okay, thank you.
Beautiful. Good to see you, Cheryl. Stephanie is also asking, should we start low or go slow, or is it okay to go for, like, say, an hour, or even use the amplifier along with the chi coils? If you are new to chi coils, and if you're new to frequency, don't go for long. And in fact, it's not that necessary. What you can do instead is you can, if you use it for 20 to 30 minutes, once or twice a day, then you are getting a tremendous amount of benefit. The only thing I would caution you against, so you can also, it's up to you, because you're engaging your body, but what I want to caution you is that if you use too much and for too long, the chi coils or any other frequency emitting device, such as the aura coils or the wand, so you may be overloaded with the energy. So it means that you may experience it more as a stress. So rather than it being a benefit to you, you may experience it more like as if you're stressed. That would be the state. You may get a little bit of a headache. You may feel a little nauseous. You may feel, and these are kind of like detox symptoms, but it's not necessary for us to do that at all. So that's why going slow and gradual, starting with something like this, a 14-day challenge of using it for 5 minutes in the way that we talked about, amazing way to start. So I hope that answers it, Stephanie. Let me know if you have any follow-up to that. And Tranelle, I saw that you raised your hand. Do you want to chat too? Let me know what's on your mind.
Yes, I would. I tried to turn my video on, but it said that the host disabled it. But I have a hair salon, and I know I have an exchange of a lot of different people come in and out of my salon. And I bought the key coil to help my clients and myself. What would you suggest in a case like that, like the removing negative energy? Is that something I should do at the end of the day or the beginning of the day when I come into the salon?
For you personally, I would do both, ideally. So in the beginning of the day, I don't know how you treat your salon practice, but I know that some salon therapists, and I call it therapists because you're really there and you're talking to people, and it's almost like they're getting free therapy, but not free. I mean, they're paying for something else, but they're getting
right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're dealing with a lot of personal and emotional energy sometimes. So it's good to, first of all, clear yourself to begin with. So you could do a practice like this in the beginning, and then you could just, again, so there's different levels that you can take this onto. You could say, okay, great, I'm available to serve the highest good with everybody that, I get to meet today. I want to be a clear channel for grace to come through. And then, but at the end of the day, it's also really important that, a person like yourself doesn't take on too much of other people's energy and then go back to your home or family and feel bogged down or not available, or even your mind maybe with your clients still. So there, a practice like this would be so good to just release and let go of the day.
That's a good idea. Okay. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Beautiful. You're welcome. So next is how to unleash your greater power and potential so you can manifest the life that you truly desire. And the way to do that is, like I mentioned before, is through consistency. Oh, it's down there at the bottom too. So consistency builds momentum, which creates a change in our set point, and that results in a new reality. The way that we do that is I'm inviting you on this 14-day challenge. And every time, if you're a part of the Masterclass, Transformation Masterclass, we will be having a challenge after each one. So there'll be 2 Masterclasses each month, and the following 2 weeks will be your opportunity to practice and embody what we have learned. So this 14-day challenge, Master Removing Negative Energy, what I want you to do is make sure to take a look at the chat link where Marvin has posted the link to download the Remove Negative Energy frequency. If you don't have it, make sure that you get it. It's free. And we're going to use it for this practice. And then practice that application that we did today. So I'll summarize that again. So I want you to practice it once or twice a day, at least once a day for this 14-day challenge. And again, the challenge is between you and you, but in the group, if you end up joining the Transformation Masterclass, I'm going to definitely keep you accountable and ask you to check in. But the practice is basically this, is that you press play on the frequency, you begin to shake your hands, and for the first 2 to 3 minutes, you just shake and you breathe. And then afterwards, you're going to do deep belly breathing, literally pushing your belly out, which activates the parasympathetic nervous system, and then pulling it back in. And just breathing slowly, and on the exhale saying release. You're going to have a replay available of this. You may want to review that little section, get that practice really clear so that you can always have it in your repertoire. If you practice this for the 14 days, you will always be able to go back to it. And sometimes you may notice, even in the span of the 14 days, for some of you, it will have such an impact that you will have an internal set point. You may not even have to shake anymore. You may now be able to find it in your consciousness, the set point of release. But this practice is going to help you find that space. And here's kind of what Cheryl was saying, and I highly recommend that you use a journal. Maybe you want to get a new journal, a new book, a new notebook where you can track your progress. Just noting down even that you did the practice, and just noting down like what was the effect of that day. Or, maybe you want to check in the evening at the end of the day and say, wow, well, how was the day? This tracking is what's going to help you to see change, because you're looking for change. If you're not looking for change, you may not see it, and you may continue to experience stagnation, even though you're doing things that aren't moving you in a particular positive direction, but your perception will blind you from it. So the journal is a very powerful way to expand our self-awareness, to really take advantage of the progress that we are making. Okay, so this kind of concludes that negative energy masterclass. So you have the homework, you have the challenge, you have the technique, you have the frequency. And now I want to invite you, if you want to continue this journey, I want to invite you to Transformation Masterclass Monthly, where again, the theme is change your frequency, change your energy, and change your destiny. So in our series, we're going to learn how to get the most benefits from the chi coils and other frequency devices. You're going to get an opportunity to receive guidance for removing hidden obstacles and blockages in terms of physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual, those ones that sabotage or slow down our transformation. I'm going to help you to transform more deeply, more completely, more profoundly, meaning on all levels of being, and to learn to transform yourself and others. You're going to see that the way that we transform others is actually inside out. It's by taking responsibility for our life, and then the people in our life begin to reflect our new set point. And then, of course, transform yourself even faster, because you're going to have guidance, you're going to have my support, and you're going to have the community all around you. So if you want to join us, it's only $39 a month. We made this as accessible as possible. I want to have as many of our Chi Coil community members in here so that we can really learn to grow and build together. I see, deeper visions of even doing some special events to not only influence our own lives, but maybe collectively coming together to influence the collective consciousness in a beautiful and positive way. So what it looks like is 2 master classes per month. The first I should have changed that. The first masterclass is going to be on June 16th. So it's going to be 2 weeks from now. And it's going to be at 11 a.m. Pacific. And that's it should be 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm sorry, that line is really out of whack. I apologize for that. So all of the classes are going to be recorded to your archive. You're going to be able to access these and review them at any time that you like. There's going to be members-only deals and perks. And there's also going to be a private community group that you'll be a part of on Mighty Networks. Mighty Networks is a really beautiful way to stay in touch without being on Facebook, without getting caught up in the other forms of distraction. So the masterclass on the Mighty Networks, the group looks kind of like this. There's an opportunity to share your progress, to ask questions, to interact with each other. There's private messaging, polls, and it's basically going to be a place where we announce everything that is coming up, everything that we've done. I'll share techniques. I'll come on there and share other helpful tips and videos, and of course, answer all of your questions. And if you want to join us on an annual basis, if you want to subscribe basically for a year instead of month to month, then I'm going to throw in a special bonus in there for you. We'll be doing an exclusive transformational mastery workshop only for the annual subscribers. It's going to be $100 or $99 value. It's going to be for free, and we're going to get deeper into the principles of transformation together so you can get even more out of the transformation masterclasses. This also drops the price down to $25 a month instead of $39. And also, for anybody who's an annual subscriber, there'll be an ongoing 20% discount for any personal sessions, any one-on-one work that you want to do with me. That's going to be available there for you. So 2 options, $39 a month or $299 for the year. I personally think it's amazing, great value. And my goal is to rock it for you, to really help you make a difference in your life. So this is what's coming up. This is Transformation Masterclass next. So here's the real dates and times. So June 16th, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. What I'll be doing also with the people, with all the members that join, is to see what times really work well for everybody. And we may alternate. Maybe one masterclass of the month is going to be kind of more in the morning time. Maybe one is going to be in the evening. We're going to find out what really works best to accommodate everyone in the best way possible. So here's what's coming up. this is going to be the foundation series. So over the next 2 months, we're going to be working with mastering your energy. And there's 4 different types of energy. These names, they're borrowed from Feng Shui, the art and science of Feng Shui. And we're going to be learning to master each one so that we have a strong foundation to then be able to address any area of our life. So the way that this looks is, number 1 is called heaven energy. And heaven energy is about our mental thought. It's about learning how to influence the way that we think. Earth energy refers to our emotional experience, which is learning how to influence the way that we feel and removing emotional blockages. Man energy, or in other words, human energy, is referring to the physical body, the vitality of the physical body, learning to influence our health and our physical energy. And lastly, it's the spirit energy, which is pure intelligence, pure awareness. And this is about learning how to cultivate and receive and express the fruits of the spirit. Fruits of the spirit, qualities like patience, generosity, gratitude, love, joy, peace. So we're going to be going through each one of these. Each one of them is going to have a corollary frequency. I'm going to share that with you in the next masterclass, the frequencies and where you can get them. But overall, this is the game plan. And from here, we're going to also decide as a community what's really important. Which of those areas, remember when we talked about whole life mastery earlier, each one of those areas will be areas that we can focus on together. We can go deep into relationship, deep into finances, into health. So it will be up to us as a community. I'm going to be leading and guiding us, but I'm going to be profoundly open to your feedback and what's really important to you so we can tailor this in a way that is truly alive and applicable. That's about it for today. I want to thank you, all of you, for your participation. It's been a joy to see some of you on camera. I really appreciate that. I always encourage and invite all of you to appear on camera. That creates more of this community experience, more of a face-to-face real connection experience. The best, as real as we can get through Zoom. Thank you once again for all of your participation and energy. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the Foundation Series, Mastering Your Energy, the Transformation Masterclass. Thank you so very much. My name is Boris Kerjner, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time.